troublemakers out of the garden. They thought they'd do a little cleanup ahead of time. Give me a second here before we kick. This will be our warm-up. Let's go. Get out of here. Pretty easy to herd, fortunately. You too there, Mr. Cluck. The gate, the gate, the gate. Chickens are dumber than geese, if you didn't know. All right. Let's see how long this takes. Turn around 1 minute, and they all decide to just try to take over. I think they run the joint. Get out of here. There you go. All right. It's wrapping it up anyway, so it's all good. They didn't get it too much. Let's see what everybody's up to today. We're going to do a wrap up on the garden to start here. Somehow I still have watermelon. I'm not sure if they're fully ripe. It's hard to tell this time of year because they don't ripen the same with the signs they show, so I'm kind of taking a guess with these guys. So we got some sunflower seed heads we're going to be taking in, and I got some more still out in the garden, and I still got summer squash somehow. Minor miracle. It's October, right? Why do I have squash in October? Let's go on and take it in. So I would say we're wrapping it up, but we're not. I've got a ton of green tomatoes still that we're going to be holding on to until the final cold snap frost comes in, which we still haven't had. There's all our peppers so far today. I still got tons of peppers out here on the vine. So everybody's eating high on the hog right now still, I guess you'd say. Nobody is going without as far as all of these critters. The watermelon vines are pretty scarce. These guys are still in here, and these guys are hiding out over here. We'll see. I don't know. We got some rain this past week. May help them out. These tons of green tomatoes, just tons, just hiding out in here. I haven't even fully delved into here. There's probably some red ones in there going rotten, but I got tons of green tomatoes just doing their thing. So the abundance continues. The last of the radishes were pulled. Let's see what's in it. It's our tomato bucket. I got it sitting over here. There's the tomatoes from the day. I mean, there's probably still 30 pounds of tomatoes sitting in there that we're going to be able to harvest at some point, whether they're green or not. We'll see if how green they stay. Let's close that up. But yeah, it's a good fall harvest. Still rolling in. We got people rolling in here. What's up, Truth? Odd-shaped melon? Yeah, it's just a small melon because it's that time of year where they just don't develop the same. C103, what is going on? Sweet potatoes. I haven't even delved into my sweet potatoes and potatoes yet. I've got to, I need to do a practice to see where our potatoes are and if we're going to pull them now. Cottonwood for later. Cottonwood. Got trees growing. Our asparagus that we're going to pull out of here soon enough. Or I may not pull up, but cut down to winter over because this is the first year and it's a 3-year project. I continue to remind myself. There's our sunflowers we still got hanging. Surprisingly, the migratory birds didn't get these guys. They're relatively intact. They had gotten into some of the tomatoes, it looked like, but nothing worth complaining about. So our squash still have a few going down. Got some squash continuing there on the summer squash side. But these plants all need to be pulled here. But then we got this plant over here. Still got some summer squash somehow. Life is abundant in the high desert. I think the rain this last week had something to do with it. But our winter squash is hiding out. We're getting ready. So the winter squash will be coming in here, and we got our granddaddy pumpkin, the great pumpkin, just waiting. It's getting close here on the, getting close, but he's a biggin. That guy is a biggin. Don't know what we're going to do with it. Well, I know what we're going to. It's only getting fed to the pigs, but other than we'll take some seeds out of it and such. But there's a couple small ones branched off. But I don't think they're going to develop or anything. And so our patch, our potato patch, I need to start taking care of. See if we get any potatoes out of here or not. But speaking of that, looks like a rain uncovered those. I didn't mound enough. We'll see. But while we're sitting here, let's go ahead and dig in. Who we got here? Potatoes. What's up, Truth? Yeah, as organic as it gets without somebody telling you it's organic. Yeah, the animals get all the squash and pumpkin seeds and everything, the deworming properties. Let me see if I got anything down in this one that has already been died off. Maybe not. Like I was saying earlier, I don't have a good record on potato production. Dang, I guess I have to bring out the digging fork. These guys are missing. Oh, is that right, Truth? That pumpkin came from the seeds that we got from our 2018 pumpkins. So we're doing pretty good on our own seed stores for that purpose. Give these guys. But speaking of China and the goings on in the world, if you're not harvesting all your things, somehow I still got flowers on here. So thinking about past performance and where we're at now, I had talked a couple of years ago about how it seemed that the seasons were kind of shifting to the right, meaning fall came a little bit later, winter started a little bit later, spring came in a little bit later. So like you really wouldn't get into winter until late December instead of like late November, or you wouldn't get into spring until really May instead of April. The way this crop has come in and the amount of fruit we still have seems to be validating that at this point. But we'll continue to monitor the situation. But having watermelon on the vine still, when I guess we don't have to have our frost until next week, but usually we've had enough cold spells like down in the 40s, almost 30s, that this stuff's not around. But you know, we've had to pull the tomatoes by now, usually by the end of September. But maybe it's just an odd year. We'll just take this as an anomaly. We'll document it. We'll see how it compares. But yeah, there's tons of greens still, tons of tomatoes, and everything that just baffles the mind. And we'll take it as a data point, but not get too crazy. But the last couple years, it seems that, and that has to go back to that whole polar shift, all that other stuff people talk about, like it's going to have effects. Like, what are those effects going to be like? And the shifting of the seasons would make sense to a certain degree. And whether it's just a couple weeks or months or whatever it ends up being, we seem to be in that full effect as of right now. But yeah, use tarps, Truth. Yeah, I mean, there's enough tomatoes right now we could tarp them, depending on how long the cold spell is going to be. If it's just an overnight spell and it gets back up in the 60s, 70s the next day, yeah, it's worth it, because there are a ton of tomatoes. But whether or not that happens, if it's a multiple day thing, it's just like we're better off just to get what we can out of here and wrap it up and put everything in a cardboard and let it wrap it inside to close everything out. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of where we are. Garlic. Yeah, garlic would be good to. I've talked about garlic for years and I still don't have any. I'm a slacker. I need to work on the garlic. I like garlic. Garlic's great. Garlic keeps the vampires away. Or the Federal Reserve, your choice. So, we still got everybody on here. There's all the signal 5x5, I guess. Shout out to Dad on YouTube. I haven't seen his garden. He didn't do a first of the month either. I'm kind of concerned if that government shutdown really shut him down. That'd be unfortunate. But it'd be nice to hear some perspective from him on this whole government shutdown debacle and distraction from, well, actually you could say it's a reaction, because the government is going to have to curtail something if they don't want to outright riots in the street. If the situation continues to devolve as it currently is. There's a sweet potato vine going all the way out. We'll have to look in there and see what kind of sweet potato situation we got going on. It's all mixed in with the tomatoes in this section, in the jungle, as we like to call it. Let me check a chat screen here. Okay. Government shutdown gives the buggers, gives them more time to scheme. More time to scheme from their palatial palaces, right, Truth? I mean, you'd think that's what's going on. These mini bell peppers, I'll tell you what, they're not huge, but they're really good. Good chance to grow them, because it's like you have a small snack instead of having a whole pepper that you eat and have to store up the other half or whatever. I mean, you can eat a whole pepper in a setting, but you just don't always want to. They're pretty good. Talked about some of the lessons learned from the garden last time. It's been a month, I think. Well, when was the last time we were in here? 2 weeks? Talk about it. I haven't been in here this week. October tomatoes. Who knew? But I hope everybody is staying motivated in their food production outfit, because the days of the grocery store being a reliable, I'll put it on the, where I'll put it by the gate. Forgot where I put my bucket. Are not looking good. So finding what you can do with what you got is imperative. We got through Preparedness Month uneventful as it was. There wasn't a whole lot of, I don't know, I guess I don't watch enough. I mean, I don't watch any regular TV anymore. Anything's streaming pretty much on the YouTube. Like the commercials, there's not a lot of Gov commercials or stuff anymore. It's hard to say what's going on. I mean, just a ton of these peppers still on here. The animals get their share and get our share, and there's still a ton just hanging out. But yeah. So if anybody, again, I reach out, I guess you could dehydrate watermelon. I guess that's the solution that Irish USMC vet gave me for the watermelon, is dehydrate them. I'm like, that kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? We'll see. But I'd like to have some, it'd be great to pull out some winter watermelon in the middle of January. Like the whole purpose of watermelon is to rehydrate, right? But what else is going on? So you got the government shutdown. The seems like the manipulation of the whole. I feel like there was something. I mean, if you really want to get into it, the gold and silver situation, all commodities except for, and as I noted to a couple other people and Dad on YouTube and a few others, something got that one, got lost one there. Why is oil so low compared to all the other commodities that are seeing pretty rapid rises? It's been unexplained to me. You know, it's a mystery what's going on with the oil price, how it's staying so low, except for I had a theory, and Dad responded, America is increasing its supply to offset OPEC's price manipulation and OPEC's, or I guess in particular Saudi Arabia's stopping of using the dollar and accepting gold. So they're trying to undercut the market because they don't want people using gold to buy oil. Really getting into that situation and that part of the, I guess you'd say, game that they're playing with this. I don't know. It's one of those things where if you think they're all on the same side, they're just playing us to continue to suck our lives out of us. But if they're actually against each other, like, it kind of makes sense that the end of the dollar and the oil game is rapidly coming to a close. And, you know, you got to beg people to spend their dollars in your oil by lowering the price when they can get a, you know, disavow themselves with a dollar. But if you're doing that to the oil price with the dollar, you're also undercutting the bond market. So that affects the 10-year bond, which they want a weaker dollar. So that kind of helps, I guess, because it'll cause people to, well, no, actually it doesn't. Take that back. It doesn't, because people would sell their bonds to get dollars to buy oil, which makes the bond market, the rates go up, and they want lower rates. They want people to buy bonds, not sell them for dollars. So a catch-22 that everybody is in that is trying to manipulate this market. And it's definitely having an effect on all the gold and silver in particular. What's up, They Live? How you doing? How's your garden harvesting going? Barry Wood, shout out. How's things up north? How many chickens, Truth? Way too many. You need some chickens, Truth. That's how many chickens I got. How many chickens do you want? We could probably spare a few, you know, if you really needed some. But Barry Wood checking in. They live. Hope you had some good rain this week. Russia and Venezuela, and Russia and Venezuela oil as well, which Venezuela is part of OPEC. So it all kinds of times the same when it comes to the actions that are going on out in the water and blowing up people's boats that are proposed to carry drugs, but who knows what's going on with that for real. And then you've got, of course, the National Guard going into all these cities, which they've been disaster zones for a long time. And now that you got federal agents patrolling the streets doing these enforcement actions. You got that incident in Chicago, lady got shot because she was blocking in agents because she was part of the resist crowd, and she got shot because they rolled up on her while you're blocking the scene, and she had a gun and they dropped her. And she was a known agitator, yes, but I don't know, that's a good place. Like that. We'll see how that continues to deal. Great rain, you say? Yeah, very thankful for that. That's why I'm wondering if my watermelons are hanging in there just because of that rain this week. We'll see. Yeah, the National Guard rolling out, the resistance to the National Guard, supposedly different court orders on not able to do that. Can you do that? That's going to get a little hairy. You know, it's like, what's the justification for saying you can't when, you know, Eisenhower's kind of the standard of, you know, he rolled out the 101st to Arkansas or Alabama. Yeah, Eisenhower rolled out his boys down there to the south to enforce his decrees. You know, if that's the standard, how can you push back when that was a good thing? And you know, it's like all these past precedents, people forget all the tyranny they supported because they thought it was for their team or whatever, because it stuck with thumb and eye. It's something they didn't agree with. Yeah, it's like everybody forgot the 10th Amendment existed, and it's been downhill for a long time. You recall rumors of that truth? Truth, that goes back to the 90s. I remember in the 90s, the discussion that was going around officer candidate school of would you fire on Americans. That was like 93, 94. And that, tie that in with Ruby Ridge and Waco, and all the rumor mills are going crazy. And that, so it's not a recent event, that's for sure. That's probably back when I first got real. I mean, being from the South, you're always kind of anti-federal government. Then you hear that stuff when you're in the military. You just become more of a agitator, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. Who called troops on our vets campaigning out for their pay? I don't know what you're talking about there, Truth. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about the bonus army. When World War I bonus vets were looking for their promised bonus that they were supposed to get. Well, MacArthur was a part of the soldiers that did that. That's one way to get ahead. Was that Hoover? I believe that was Hoover. They called in the troops on them. And it was in I mean, that's one of those things. DC is its own district. But I wouldn't say Hoover got away with it because he didn't get reelected, right? He was only a one-term guy. But somebody burying it. Oh, that's a mushroom. But not good precedent, Not good precedent at all. Yeah, Hoover says they live. That sounds right to me too. It was definitely in that interim period and towards the Great Depression. But that's what you get when you get economic uncertainty and collapse, and all the things we're dealing with now is you get a lot of this agitation and people trying to find their way through doing what they do. And so yeah, probably gonna see some more of that. Federal action against the people, because states are completely neutered and all they have is a bunch of weak politicians that just talk a good game and don't actually lead. They just want to get their agenda through to maintain their power, and having weak people helps them maintain their power. So that's what they support. Weak families, weak men, all these things. It's kind of strange how that works. Truth asks, how long before the dollar tanked completely? I mean, your guess is good. How did it last that long? The dollar is completely in the control of what to do, unless the BRICS or something was able to do something drastic, which I don't necessarily think they have the power to do really right now. The Fed still controls the outcome of the dollar and when the transition occurs, because ultimately the goal is digital currency, and that's only if you believe actual BRICS is actual counterparty and not a participant in the transition to CBDC, because that's all going to central bank. Anybody want some pricklers, stickers? It's never any fun. That's one of those things. That's why you pull weeds early, so they don't develop to that point. Lessons never learned. Bayliv says, I think the dollar collapses is a slow burn, right? Well, again, I think it's just a transitional to the digital. The dollar won't collapse to the point, as long as they have the ability not to let it, which they maintain that power right now. Truth says 37 trillion and counting. We got dollars for war. We got dollars for all kinds of stuff. We got dollars for security. We got dollars for welfare. We got dollars for immigrants on welfare. We got dollars for refugees. We got dollars for all the wars, all the things. We got dollars for studying gay pygmy pigs in Australia, all those things that we continue to allow, I guess you'd say. Biometric digital currency. Biometric ID, I mean, okay. Yeah, well, the biometric ID is something, I mean, real ID is implemented. You know, that's in place. So denying you access to all the system just based upon your digital footprint, so they can continue to put you in a box and control you if you're not part of their system. It's literally the Matrix being built around us without being like the Matrix the movie. It's like very representative. It's one of those things people be like, it's like Bitcoin. I know it's not real, but it's great and I just don't care. It's like literally that's where we are. You know, it's a big club and we ain't in it, right? They live. I have plenty of puncture vine. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I got lots of weeds and puncture vine stickers and goat heads and all those weeds I should have pulled that didn't get around to till now. Yep. The deer horse is checked in. Where's your kitty at, deer horse? Unicorns and rainbows. Things are looking great. What's up? You know, Wes S had a couple videos the last couple weeks. Speaking of unicorn and rainbows, he's had some good stuff to get your mind thinking through your system. But ultimately, the CBDC and stuff, that's the beast. CBDC, Bitcoin, AI, it's all part of the beast system. Don't take my word for it. Just look at it. Study it. It's out of the mind of man for the benefit of man, the arrogance of men. It's all tied in, just like the Tower of Babel, just like all the other previous, I guess you'd call extinction level events in the Bible that we've been warned about and to prepare for. And here we are again with these events going down. And I'm pretty convinced that the AI and everything is just the beast coming full circle, and it's really going to be pushed out by men. That it's like the Antichrist is just another arrogant man in the end who thinks he can be a god, but yet no. Oh, Dior says coming a little blurry. Now it's probably on my end. Nobody else comments whenever I have bad signal. Nobody's willing to say, hey, check your signal. So I'm in the garden when I'm in here in the fenced-in area. I think it's just the signal. It's like I'm on a high point. Why can't I get good signal here? It's a mystery of wave propagation, I guess. What is everybody yelling about? But yeah, sorry about that, Dior. Let me get these pepper out of there. There's the rest of the peppers and the radishes from today that I talked about earlier. Those of you that missed it, tons of peppers still waiting to come in that we're going to have to jalapeno over there. Like, we still got jalapenos developing. Like, they should be dying off at the beginning of October. You know? But yeah, these tomatoes. So that's the garden update. And if you missed the big pumpkin's back toward the beginning of the discussion. Those of you that follow the big pumpkin tracking, that's going to be a nice one. Just in time for Charlie Brown and Snoopy to fight off the Red Baron. Best TV show ever. Get myself out of here. Those of you that might have missed the squash and the sunflowers, the watermelon, that's already got pulled today. C103's pretty convinced that you were right. Well, you know, and it's one of those things like, you know it's coming. How it happens, I guess, really doesn't matter, but it's good to be aware and just correct yourself as able, as we have been directed to. You know? Dior's just going to listen to the background. Don't go, Dior's, don't go. I hope if you're driving the highway, byways, getting ready for winter, they're from the deer horse. Definitely going to be, there's already been snow in the Sierra. Let me, I got to get this locked up here. Set this down for a second. A skosh. There we go. Yeah, winter is upon us for those driving the highways and byways. There was snow in the Sierra. And Colorado got to get a big hit. There was snow in Wyoming yesterday, so the high elevations got snow and stuff. As far as like the way winter hits, I think it's a little delayed for the most part. Eyes in the sky flying over. Truth said she thought she heard a horse. That was probably the goats. The horses are far away. Horses are farther away. I don't think you heard them. It'd be hard to hear from way up here. Packing up the truck, getting on the road for deer horse. That's good. Yeah, we mostly freeze, Truth. That's a gap as far as preservation and storing a lot of the food and stuff. Whoa, out of the blue, from left field. What's up, Jay Sparks? How you doing? Yeah, a little bit of food still coming in. A little bit of food. Hope you're doing well. I guess you're still out there in the Ozark territory. Hope you're doing well. Hope you got your good stash of food going. Truth says New York is going all electric for heat ovens, etc., so we can freeze to death. Oh, Truth, are you in New York? I didn't realize that. Or it's been a while. We haven't talked about it in a while. It's not really relevant necessarily to the whole conversation, but cool. But going all electric's definitely putting ourselves in what you would call a very precarious, exposed position. You know, I'll have to come back and get those guys here later. Living in Missouri. All is good. All right, good to hear, Sparks. I guess you're not in the video games anymore. You don't really put out any videos, I don't think. If you have. Not done a whole lot. But, it comes and goes for the most part for all of us. So many other things that are more important in this time that we live. Your goodness, you can't make enough improvements or save enough food fast enough for the situation you see around you, right? It's like, how do you keep your sanity when you see a lot of this stuff going down? Got half the crew following me. I think I got food for them. Definitely can be in a precarious spot the way things are going. But I need to put some more fruit trees in. What else we need to do? I move those cottonwoods I gotta do. Yeah, we gotta put some more food in the freezer. Yeah, all the things, Just like most of you, doing all the things. Becoming dangerous. What's up, Wayne? Good evening. It's probably dark where you are. I'm gonna check out here before dark. But we'll hang in here for a minute because we got a pretty good crowd showing up. Pretty good crew. It's good to see. I know speaking of, I showed up planting the lettuce and cabbage a while back, trying to see if we could get a winter or fall garden in, and not a lick did anything. That was sad. But all the little things you learn from experience with those lettuce and cabbage seeds. I don't know if it was the seed or if it was my lack of attention or what. So that was a failure. Oh, I got these other sunflower stalks to hand out. Somebody needs to eat these. They're just taking up space. Let's get these out of here. Good to see you, Wayne. Wayne fixing up cars. Got his Crown Vic rolling down the highway with all the check engine light and everything on. It sounds good just the same. Looks like a Jeep when you're driving around there, Wayne. Apples keep all winter, says Truth. Well, I guess it's possible if you keep them dry, right? I've never tested apples to that point. And plus my apple trees. Hey, calm down. Nobody ever listens. You ever get that feeling nobody ever listens to you? Yeah, yours. Well, you're what, an hour ahead, 2 hours ahead, maybe. I don't know if you're sure if you're Central or Mountain. Get your stuff packed up and on the road. Get going. Andy has checked in. What's up, Andy? Yeah, I guess, what time is it? Hang on. I guess it gets dark right before 7 nowadays. So we got right at about an hour left. Is that right? Yeah, about an hour left before things get darkish. And this time of year, it's like you're standing there at 8. It's like, why is it midnight? Why does it feel like it's midnight? It's so dark already. And somebody thinks changing your clock helps any of that. Idiots. Government morons, even. Danger. Wayne says, check engine light doesn't mean anything, just an evap code that doesn't affect anything, right? Well, there's so many, it's like a Jeep dash. You ever drive a Jeep, like after the first 4 years, you just pop codes all the time, because that's what happens when you put all the mods on it and do everything else, and you're not a true Jeeper unless you got your check engine light on and all the other codes and everything thrown. But I hope everybody's getting their winter stuff going. I mean, despite the continued success of the garden, I want to get some skis waxed, among other things. But what does C102 say? Electrical tape was invented to cover dash warning lights. That's scary. But I see your point. Point taken. Yeah, don't let the lights blind you at night, right? Busy weekend for Andy. Barn fire, fundraiser, brush fire, smoke in a building. Oh, you're busy at the firehouse, huh? Such as it is. We're at that towards the tail end of the fire season around here, and hopefully we continue to not have any major effects. Where did that go? I think I dropped something. Got all kinds of things going on. Can't talk and walk at the same time, apparently. That's what happens when you get old. Yeah, I don't know, dear horse, for all the good things Ben did, I think daylight savings was the biggest mistake. Especially nowadays. Now, I mean, it just doesn't make sense, because the farmer and the person who actually uses the daylight just adapts to the daylight and the sun when it goes up and down. It doesn't affect people that work in buildings, other than, I guess there's that argument for energy savings to a certain extent, but you know, you have all the light you want at your disposal with current electricity and everything else. You know, it's not like you're going to go without and then walk around in the dark if you don't change your clock. It's just way oversold, way overdone, and people don't even know why they do it, or it's just ridiculous. My thoughts. I think it's just government sycophants. Keep it going. Wayne says he votes so we stay on daylight savings. Well, I'm a no on that. Andy was on duty officer. Truth's got warm undergarments for the electric outage. They live is grabbing firewood. Is that $125 a quart, I guess? Wow, that doesn't sound like too much more than it. I mean, what wood? How do you get wood in Silver Springs? I guess they probably go cut it somewhere else. It's not like there's a lot of trees. The desolation that is Silver Springs. Stacking up that wood. Who was it? You had a buddy that was stacking wood Saturday, and I guess he was doing it. Yeah, yesterday morning. Man, I guess it's been a pretty good weekend. Can't remember what time it was. He was stacking wood. I guess he's got 3 cords stacked up for this winter. A few states opt out of it. Yeah, Arizona, Hawaii, which it has a lot less effect on you if you're there. But it's like we're right above Arizona. It's totally a mind game. Daylight savings is just totally a mind game. That's the end of the story on that. Just gotta let it go. They can't stand daylight savings. Tractor has headlights and a backlight. That's all you need, right? Yeah, but it's just government nonsense in my mind. Get up when the sun comes up, go to bed when the sun comes down, you'll be a lot better off. Except in the summer when you need to probably go to bed a little earlier and maybe stay in bed a little later, depending on the situation. I know when I first went to Camp Fuji in Japan, because it's further north, right? And it was July. And I mean, it was daylight, 4:30, 4. You got birds chirping and daylight outside. Like, that was a quick change to how just because you're so far north and everything, and they don't do like daylight savings, so it's definitely, man, that was hard to get used to. I mean, you're used to PTing in the dark, and you're PTing in broad daylight. No problem there in the summer. What was that about? A 88 Silverado as a check engine light that comes on at random intervals. What's an 88? I mean, what do you expect? Yeah, diagnosing something that old. This thing is a OBD electronics. I'm not sure what OBD means, but yeah, most people, the electronic situation on your vehicle, it's like most of the things you can do without anyway. And the way they're making new cars, though, it's like you can't function on them without Wi-Fi. And plus, they're going to be able to shut them down remotely. Let's don't even get into that discussion. Don't buy a new car. Rebuild the old stuff like Wayne. They live, says, there's a place that processes telephone poles, and they sell the end rounds before they're treated. Silver Springs. Oh, come on. Silver Springs is way better than it was 30 years ago. They live. I mean, 20 years ago, if you'd have said that half the people would have lived there now, it'd have been like, people would have called you crazy. But it's just amazing. I guess that whole Tesla and everything else, just people move. If people can get a job, it's better than living in California. Dang, Andy's green hardwood, $285 a cord. Wow. That's more like what you'd expect like wood to be. I guess it's better. Would be more expensive than telephone poles. They Live says it's better than Stagecoach. Oh, slander. I think I'd much rather live in Stagecoach. Stock up on ivermectin, says Truth. Wayne's going to rebuild the engine and transmission on the F-250 and drive it for another 30 years. That's pretty impressive. You got to have some skills to rebuild stuff like that. Skills I'm lacking in. I just don't have, I mean, it does take a degree of patience, but you got to, all the fine tuning stuff, I definitely need help. I definitely got to have somebody helping for anything of that level mechanical skill, because it's beyond my abilities. I can change a couple parts and stuff, but that's. I worked on the driveline on the Wrangler, so stuff like that. But Jeeps are easy compared to a lot of vehicles. So the older Jeeps. Now I'm at the new ones. Who knows? Who knows what they're like? With all continue to push for the electronic stuff. But I guess we've yapped enough, YouTube. The economic situation continues to devolve. The continued push for lower interest rates and cheap money, and hopefully you've got some silver saved up to buffer yourself against economic hard times and stock up your food and see how we ride this out. or if we get to ride it out at all, if it's not the end times. You just never know what it's going to come up. But Wayne says I can do just about everything but a full rebuild. Well, that's pretty cool. You got a friend of the shop. That's good stuff. I guess the government shutdown is probably going to be the big thing that stays in the news this week. I don't know. We'll see if it sparks any innovation and reasonable thought out of the center of confusion. I have my doubts. Probably come back to more death and debt. It's probably going to be the ultimate outcome. We'll see how the wars progress as the wars continue to pop up at different levels all over the place. And it seems none of it's for our benefit. Right? How does that work, Wayne? They're still taking our money? You know? It's like you're not working, but I still have to pay you. Like, what? How does that work? Yeah, that's an interesting outcome, isn't it? But y'all prepare for the week, the month, the year. We're almost done with 2025. Can you imagine that? Did you think you'd be talking about prepping for 2026? I don't know. It's hard to believe we made it this far in most ways. It's just bizarre the way they keep dragging things out. Like the dollar, like we talked about the collapse of the dollar, they just continue to drag it out because they just have so much control over it that and the digital stuff. They got to playing games. When the shoe drops, it's going to be ugly, I think, for a lot of people that are tied into that heavily, I guess you'd say. It's going to be painful for everybody. But keep doing what you're doing. Most of you are prepping just harder than I am in a lot of respects. So it's good to see everybody on here. Hit the comment, like, and subscribe. You got to throw that in there. It's not YouTube if you don't say comment, like, and subscribe. But it's been a good chat. And like Wayne says, it's incredible we haven't collapsed. Who's got... oh, there we go. Yeah, it's incredible that we haven't collapsed, right? Well, that's what you can do, Dior. You can only prepare for what you can control, right? Prep for what you can, the best you can with what you got. Nobody expects anything more, I think, right? I think the biggest thing is being mentally flexible to know that it could always get worse. It could always be a devolving event, and it's never going to be the way we think necessarily. So don't get too tied up into one scenario. Don't just think it's going to be a certain way at a certain time. Oh, there was the big. We haven't even talked. That was 2 weeks ago. Everybody was saying that the rapture's coming. The rapture's coming. Oh, not everybody. There was a group and a sect that was like trying to say they knew when the rapture was going to happen, and got a bunch of people all hot and bothered. And it's like you forgot the whole nobody knows the time and everything. Definitely a distraction and people leading people astray. If we make it 20 years, right, Wayne? What's up to Vincent? What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. But y'all be good. We'll see you out on the YouTube and around. Maybe one of these days I'll see They Live out in the streets. Who was it? Some channel was talking about how they starting to get recognized in public. And I was like, man, I've never been recognized in public. That's probably by design. But you never know. We might see one of you guys in public one day. They Live says that unfortunately it's the Chicken Little Gospel Crew. Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good week and pray hard, folks. The situation deteriorates. Gonna need all the help we can get and pray for the help of others. And we get all through this and as best as we're able and capable and supposed to. So prep hard, live free. And I got to figure out how to close this thing out again.